I wanted to go through the queue system that I think that you're looking for. And this is part of our court queue. As I mentioned, we have a couple different versions of queuing systems that we can pull code and technology from. And that's what makes us unique, because the setup fee that you pay, you actually get a custom queuing system. The competition just charges a setup fee. It's basically you have to fit your round peg into their square hole and pay a setup fee, which is basically the commission to the salesperson. With us, we actually build it out for you. So in this case, I'm going to show you now we're using the court queue right now, just to give you an example, because this is the closest to, I think, what you want. So we would obviously, you would tell us how you want the screen and the nomenclature. So Brandon. Now here wouldn't be case. You mentioned that there's appointments, and I'm not sure where the appointments come from. So if people call in to make an appointment, we can have a actual appointment. I'm sorry, a calendar widget that would be here. And you click on it, opens up, and you pick the day, and you can put in the time. Or if you're using Acuity Calendar, if you want to use our calendar, that's fine, via a widget on the website. And then when folks make an appointment, we'll have them every day be pulled down into the daily appointment import. This is what we do at San Antonio for the spade and neuter, so that's not a problem. Or like I said, if it's a sort of a manual thing where people call in, that can be done here. And then over here, the phone number and the memo field, which you can change it to whatever you want. Maybe you need information like the kind of pet they want. So let's say a black lab. And then here, I'm going to kind of skip daily appointments. I'm going to go right to Matchmaker for now. So if we, boom, put them in Matchmaker, it'll drop down here. So ID, case number, all this stuff, you can tell me what you want that to say. That's more appropriate for your use case, and we'll take care of that. So as you can see, go down here. Now, you'll notice here I have a 3-digit PIN in here. And so right now we can see it because for demonstration purposes. The concept is staff, queue managers will have a PIN that they'll choose, and that will be in the admin section. And the reason why we don't want to assign them a PIN is because if it's something that's assigned to them, they're less likely to keep it private, and there's more chance that somebody's going to get a hold of it and use it for, just be fraud. So what we found is that if you have a 4-digit PIN that they choose, it's usually something like their bank number, their bank PIN number, and that's something they're not going to share with people. So it's just an extra layer of accountability. So we'd be adding another number here, and so as long as that's there, the individual matchmaker. Okay, so now when it's matchmakers are ready and it's time for Brandon, they'll click call, and it's going to demonstrate that one message went out and at what time. So the matchmaker knows that the last message sent to this party was at this time, and if they need to send another, they can. Then about the move back, we'll just push them back if they're not there. So what happens here is once they're done with what they're doing with Matchmaker, the next step would be visitation. So right here, so you can just smoothly push them into the visitation. And now the visitation folks have folks in the queue and as an action, and then visitation. Okay, so here we have them in the queue down here. Now there's no PIN number here, so I'll show you what happens. So this will send a message, but if you try to remove them from the queue or X amount, or even transfer, you're going to get this message which says, please enter initials in queue header section. And we'll change that. Please enter PIN number in the queue header section. So if they forgot to be able to execute anything in the queue, they would have to have their PIN in here. And now they're ready for adoption. And when adoption's ready, they'll call, and they're going to need to have a PIN as well. And that will make it work. Now, when they're through with the adoption, so now they're through the whole cycle, what will happen here is you can do one of two things. You can hit complete, which will mark the adoption cycle for this particular party as complete. So you want to measure outcomes. If somebody left or didn't show up, you click the X button, and that would identify as like a no-show. Now, if you had a lot of people in the queue and it's getting late in the day and you're going to be closing soon, you can click here, and this will send a broadcast message to everyone in the queue. So that tends to be very helpful. And now I added this post-adoption questionnaire. So here, when we move people into this queue, at the end of the day, if you want to, there will be a questionnaire that will be sent to those folks who adopted. You'll press the button, and this will send out a link thanking them for coming in to adopt, and also with a questionnaire they can complete, so you're getting feedback. If you want that, you can configure this any way you want. So, and then we have reports over here, and we'll be adding a new style of reporting. And the reporting will have a dashboard. I could probably just send you a prototype of it, but it'll be a dashboard that'll be on a separate page that could be available to you or basically available to anybody in administration who wants to track transaction times and average wait times, that sort of thing. So it's much more than just a report. And the other thing I wanted to show you was I'm still unsure how people get into the queue. I thought you mentioned something about adoption. I'm sorry, appointments. So in appointment mode, we have the ability to do appointments for you. And what this will do is this will then populate the appointments for the day, which will go here, and populate that list. And they'll get a reminder when they make an appointment. They'll get a text message confirmation, and then when they hit the queue, the day of the appointment, they'll get another one that morning of the appointment as a reminder. And that way, if they can't make it or they forgot about it, they have a chance to cancel, so you're not waiting for them and make another appointment. So that's how I have this set up here. Now, the other way, if it's not by appointment per se, but first come, first serve, there could be a kiosk. In this kiosk is actually for a commercial kiosk. That's why it's so big. This could be out front where folks walk up and could enter their name into the queue. What we would do is we wouldn't have all these buttons. Obviously, it'd probably be an appointment or whatever you want to have here. And they'll put their name, their cell number, and then pick whatever it is to get them in the queue. I'm just showing you that it could show all the queues, which isn't part of your workflow. Your workflow would probably be appointments or what have you. But this works great in an iPad Pro, so you don't even need a commercial kiosk. Actually, we found it to be excellent for an iPad Pro. very responsive. So that's another option for you. Um, and then, oh, that's a sneak peek of what's to come. That's our new user interface that we're developing. Um, so this is what we have here, and it's very easy to configure on the back end. And just on the back end, these are the messages you can easily modify. Uh, if it's first come, first serve, here's a status change message, update message, which lets people know when they're getting close that it's almost their turn, so they're not wandering too far away and creating lag time. So some of the other messages, for example, is your transfer message. So if we use the transfer queue messages to work folks through your workflow, which probably makes the most sense, we put something like this, would say their name, you have been moved forward in the adoption process. You are now number 14th in the visitation queue. You'll get a text, I should say, from visitation when they're ready for you. And that will uh, help them know where they stand. And then if the reply cancel, if anybody cancels, I have it disabled. Just uncheck this. And this is the message they'll get. And it gives them a chance to reschedule as well. And then here's a reminder message that goes with the appointments you could use. So lastly, this is where you can set up your digital display. And unlike most systems, it's not a proprietary hardware system that you have to use. It's a very affordable web-based digital display that can go into any smart TV. You get it Sam's Club and put the URL in, and it works great. You can upload your picture here or whatever promotion. And we have a crawler, and it looks like this. Let me see if we can see the crawler. So, and if you don't want to show any of these, maybe there's like maybe not appointments, but matchmaker, this sort of thing. We can set it up where you could turn off what's displayed. So that's really good flexibility. And so that about covers it. And as I mentioned, part of our setup fee is you let us know what you want and we make it happen and get it going from there. And look forward to working with you.